All right, it is now Tuesday, and as you guys can see, it is a super nice day outside today. And before today, the last time I drove my car was Friday, which also happened to be a pretty nice day. Well, over the weekend, it snowed, and Sunday morning, I found out that I'd left my sunroof open about 10 inches. Woke up Sunday about 11 a.m., walked outside, looked at my car, and the sunroof was open, and it was full of snow, man. Thankfully, it was still so cold outside that none of the snow had melted and ruined anything on the inside. Like, everything is fine. There's still a few things here and there that are wet. Like, pretty much everything in my cup holder is soaking wet. But besides that, thankfully, everything else is okay and nothing's ruined on the car. But yeah, lesson learned, make sure you close your sunroof, man. So real quick, before we hop into what this video is about, which I'm sure all of you guys are ready to go ahead and see and hear about because it's epic, man. Let me just tell you that. But real quick, before we hop into the epic stuff, I just wanted to address this because in the comment section of the past 10 videos, like, they have been filled with comments asking me to race this car. I pretty much just wanted to say I'm 100% down to race this car. Unfortunately, the weather has just been absolutely awful here the past few months. Like, it snows on and off every other day pretty much. At least every weekend it snows. But also, besides that, I just don't really know anybody who has a car that would be a worthwhile race. So I've got a buddy with a 2017 Camaro SS, the 8-speed, but it has headers, E85, and a tune, and it's pushing like 450 wheel horsepower, man. This would not even be a race. Like, his Camaro would absolutely walk the Genesis Coupe, but I mean, it would still probably be pretty fun just to see how this compares to a car that fast. So if you guys want to see that, let me know down in the comments below. Also, I have another friend who has a 2017 Mustang GT. It's a 6-speed manual though, but the only problem here is he lives in Florida. So yeah, that doesn't really work out. We can't really just race whenever we want to. But the next time he comes back into town, we are for sure going to line the cars up and see how it does. But yeah, that's really why I have never raced anybody. I just don't know anybody around me that has a car that's worth racing, basically. But if you guys live in the Lexington, Kentucky area and you have a G37, a 370Z, Genesis Coupe 2.0T, just anything, a stock Mustang GT, just something like that, let me know down in the comments below. We can get something figured out because I definitely want to line this Genesis up and see how it performs. But yeah, with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the juice. So to preface this, I just wanted to say that this video is not, but it is kind of clickbait at the same time. And what I mean by that is this: I actually did race a cop. It was like an impromptu race. It was on the highway and I was just cruising, and a cop pretty much tried to pass me and I didn't let him. But it is clickbait due to the fact that I don't have video footage of this. It's basically just a story, but man, this is a story that I've been wanting to share with you guys for so long now, and I figured, you know what, let's just go ahead and share it. So we're gonna start off by just telling the story first, and then after we tell the story, I'm gonna go to the spot where this took place at, so you guys can kind of get an idea of how this went down. This all happened about a year ago now, about 6 months after I started my YouTube channel. This May, about 6 months from now, will be 2 years since I've started the channel. So that would mean that about 6 months after I started the channel, this happened. But basically what happened is this. As most of you guys probably know by now, I live on a small country road, basically out in the middle of nowhere. And to get anywhere, I have to drive on a highway to get into town, to get anywhere, basically, like I said. So I go down the country road and I get to the spot where you pull out onto the highway. So you're sitting right here. So I'm where my hand is at, and then you can go left or you can go right. It's just a 2-lane highway. There's 1 lane going this way, 1 lane going back the other way. Actually, I guess it would be the opposite way. 1 lane going that way, 1 lane going the opposite way. But anyway, it's like maybe 12 o'clock at night, so it's pretty late at night. It's pitch black outside. I get to this spot right here. I look left. I don't see anybody. I look right. I don't see anybody. I look left again, and I see a pair of headlights appear like a mile down the road plus down here. So I go ahead and pull on out to the right. So I get up to speed. I'm going about 60 miles an hour. I look in my rear view mirror and I see these lights coming in on me so fast, man. And I'm just sitting here thinking to myself, why in the world does anybody need to be going this fast? There's nothing you could do that would put you in that big of a hurry. So I made the smart decision to, if they go to pass me, I'm not gonna let them. I'm just gonna floor it. So I'm sitting here. I'm rolling 60 miles an hour down the highway. I'm looking over at my rear view mirror every other second to see how close this person is to me. And the second that they get up behind me and go around me, I put my foot to the floor and I absolutely take off on them. So we're both basically side by side. I floor it. I start pulling away. I hit like 90, almost 100 miles an hour. And I'm just sitting here looking back and forth through the windshield back to the side mirror to see where this person's at. And then as I get fairly far away from them to where there's no chance that they're going to make it around me, I look over one more time in the left mirror and I just see blue lights light up. And at that moment, man, my heart stopped in place. I slammed on the brakes. I instantly threw on my hazards and I pulled over onto the shoulder of the road. And I thought that was it, man. I thought it was GG right there. I had to hop in the car and blast the heat real quick because I'm wearing short sleeves, and the darker it gets out, the colder it gets out. Who would have guessed? So now let's jump back into the story. What did I leave off on? Oh yeah, so I pulled off onto the shoulder. I had my hazard lights on, and when I pulled off, I looked over to the left and I saw that the cop car just kept flying down the road. Like, I'm talking, he did not think twice about me pulling over. He did not think to stop and pull me over. He just flipped on his lights, scared the crap out of me. I pulled over to the shoulder and he just kept flying down the road. So about 200 yards down the road, there's a right turn that you can take that takes you off to some other little country road. And as I'm pulling off onto the shoulder and this cop is flying by me and I'm wondering what is going on, like why is he not pulling me over, I see a car sitting in the spot where you turn in at on that little country road I was talking about. And I'm still slowly coming to a stop here on the shoulder. The cop is flying down the road and turns down to that road. So I'm sitting over, well, I'm not fully sitting on the shoulder yet. I'm still slowly rolling on the shoulder because when I noticed him fly by me, I was thinking that maybe he just wanted me to like come over to where he was going or something. So I'm still rolling like 5 miles an hour down the shoulder here. I see him pull off and turn in up here next to this other car. So what do? I'm sitting here freaking out, man, trying to figure out what to do, figuring out what is a valid excuse I can tell this cop to why I just did not let him pass me. And let's be honest, man, there's no valid excuses. Like, I was absolutely screwed. So I'm rolling up the side of the shoulder. He's over here. He gets out of his car. He's talking to this other person that's parked on this country road. And I just pull up on the shoulder, pull in next to him, and I'm just sitting there for like 3 minutes, window down. I just keep looking over at the cop, like not necessarily saying anything, trying to initiate conversation, but I'm just sitting here looking at him every few seconds, trying to figure out, you know, what the heck is going on. And then about 5 minutes in, so I was sitting there for about 3 minutes, nothing happened. About 2 minutes-ish later, he looks at me and he says, "Do you need something, man?" And I'm just sitting here thinking, no. So I just say, "No, sir, officer. I just thought you were pulling me over, so I came over here." And he says, "No, son, if I was pulling you over, I would have got behind you." And at that moment, it felt like I had 1,000 pounds taken off my chest, man. Like a sigh of relief just blew over me. And I was just thinking in my head, man, what the heck just happened? Why am I not in trouble? Thank God I'm not in trouble, but what just happened, bro? And then I just hop back on the highway, turn right, and keep slowly driving to town and thinking to myself, I will never try to stop somebody from passing me again. So, yeah, man, that is really the full story right there. It's an absolutely insane story. Like, going back over it through my head, just, it's bringing me for a loop, man. I still cannot believe that night happened. I know a lot of you guys are probably gonna say that it's fake, that this never happened, because I don't have no pic, no proof, basically, but I promise you guys, this really did happen, and it was probably the scariest cop encounter in my life, even though I didn't end up getting pulled over. I just thought that I was basically done for. And I learned a few lessons that night, that's for sure. First off, don't try to stop somebody from passing you, basically. There's just no real reason to, unless you can for sure tell that it's not a cop car and you're just trying to have a little impromptu race here and there. But basically, don't try to stop a cop from passing you. And also, if it's nighttime and you're gonna try to stop somebody from passing you and they have LED lights, there's a good chance it's a cop. So just don't do it, man. You'll be better off just not doing it, I promise. So now that you guys know the full story and exactly how everything went down, let's go ahead and make our way to that road so you guys can get an idea of where and when it happened, basically. All right, everybody, so this is the famed spot right here. I'm gonna go ahead and pull out before these people get too close, but as you can see, it's a highway. You got over to the left and that's where the cop was coming, and then you got over here to the right, which is the way that I was going. Now I'm just gonna stay recording the whole time so you guys can basically just get a completely accurate representation of when everything went down. So I'm driving along right here. It's about this dark out, honestly. Unfortunately, it gets as dark as it is out at 12 o'clock now, at 6 o'clock. But anyway, I'm driving down this road. I look back right here, and this is about where I noticed that the lights are almost right behind me. So we're going around this turn in the road, and right here is where I'm making the decision. If this dude goes to pass me, I'm not letting him. So right now we're going through the turn. The turn straightens out. He goes to make a move, and I just go foot to the floor and take off on him. So I get going up till about probably right here. There's this sign coming up that I don't know if you guys can see. You probably can't see it, but this sign right here, I look over again and I just see blue lights start flashing. I instantly throw on my hazards right here and start slamming on the brakes, pull over to the shoulder right here, and that's when I see him just continue flying by me and turn on down to this road right here where he ended up sitting, and this is where I ended up pulling up next to him and him telling me to basically get lost. So yeah, man, it was an eventful night to say the least. But yeah, man, that is really going to wrap it up for this video. I just wanted to tell you guys about the time that I raced a cop and won in my Genesis Coupe. It was an absolutely crazy experience, and hopefully none of you guys will ever have to deal with something like that, even though nothing necessarily bad happened. But yeah, next week I've got a new mod coming in. I'm super excited to get this thing installed. It should hopefully fix a bunch of problems that we've been having. If that means anything to you guys, try not to spoil it for everybody else, because that kind of gives it away right there. But yeah, like I said, everybody, that is going to wrap it up for this one. If you guys have any questions, leave them down in the comments below. If you guys like this video, do not forget to drop a like and subscribe. Peace out. I'll see you guys in the next one. I just realized I never said what kind of cop car it was. It was one of the newer Charger cop cars. It was a 2015 plus. I'm pretty sure they're V8s, but I'm not 100% sure. But regardless, he got walked on.